Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a well-known and accomplished author from New Delhi, India, Anamika Mishra. Anamika, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on this wonderful podcast. It's
Thank
an
you.
honor.
Thank you. Anamika is an author, a holistic life coach, and a travel influencer. She's also an author of a book titled Shoo the Noises, Reclaim Your Focus and Manifest Your Dream Life. So, Anamika, before we start talking about your book, you've been a travel blogger, an author, and a life coach, and a climate activist. How did your personal journey evolve into these diverse roles?
I think all of these roles are just different branches of same tree.
Mhm.
Travel gave me stories, blogging gave me a voice, life coaching gave me a purpose, and activism gave me responsibility.
Wow.
At the core, I have always been a curious soul, curious about places, about people,
Mhm.
about possibilities. And I love storytelling. I love talking to people and helping them out.
Mhm.
So I think that curiosity just kept shaping into new directions.
Fascinating. And what role has travel played in shaping your worldview and your approach to personal growth and self discovery?
I think travel is my biggest teacher, I would say. Every trip feels like a mirror, it shows me my strength, it shows me my fears, even my blind spots. When you're traveling to new places, you actually can't rely on autopilot, you have to trust and you have to adapt, and you have to stay open to whatever is coming your way. And I think that just pushes you to know, like, how far you can go and uh, how resilient you are to such moments. So I feel that's where self discovery happens.
Fascinating. And I'm completely agree. I mean, I've always believed the best investment we can make in ourselves is travel. You know, delighted to
Absolutely.
learn this
Even
from
in my book, I have mentioned this so many times that, traveling is something that will help you grow, because, you don't know what's coming your way. You can just assume and prepare. But when it actually happens and how you react to it and how you handle the situation,
correct.
goes
Correct.
wrong, whatever goes right, it just helps you shape your personality.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. And Anamika, you won the Social Influencer of the Year award, and this is no small feat. What do you think helped you stand out in such a competitive space?
I think it's the authenticity with consistency, the combo of authenticity and consistency.
Mm,
I've never tried to, be everything to everyone, or, I just try to stay authentic and I share what I actually experience,
mhm,
what actually means to me, and what actually matters to me. And
mm,
I think that's where people start to connect, and that's how it helps, because people know that, okay, these are things that are actually happening with this person, and the ups, the downs, the unfiltered in betweens. And I guess when people connect with it, they stay with you. And when people stay with you in your journey, and
mm,
they're supporting you all through, I think all that helps to stand out, because they know that, okay, this is not fake and this is
mm,
all authentic, that
mm.
whatever this person is putting out on socials, or on the blogs or on the blogs. So
Very
I
well
think
said.
that, yeah.
Very well said. Thank you. Anamika, let's now talk about your book, Shoo the Noises, Reclaim Your Focus and Manifest Your Dream Life. And before I ask you a question, I'm going to ask all our viewers and listeners to go and check out Anamika Mishra's book. So, Anamika, my question is, what was the key moment or experience that led to the creation of Shoo the Noises?
um See, I was working on a self-help book since long. I think it started in right after I finished my previous book. It was a fiction, work of fiction. And then because I've been a practicing life coach since long, like I started practicing in 2014-15, so I wanted to write something on that horizon. But then, my own uh, downs, the dips in life that I faced, and how I fought my noises, and how I learned to shoo the noises in my life. I
Mm,
think when I was able to do that, I felt there are so many people who are not sharing things. Not everyone goes to a life coach and consult.
mm,
Not everyone can afford a therapist. Not every, especially the teenagers, especially the young adults. So I feel that's when I thought that, okay, what I experienced and what actually helped me in my life can be helpful to so many people
mm,
out there. So that's how I felt that, okay, let me just jot down. I
mm.
mean, if you read the book, you'll know that, okay, this is me talking to the
Absolutely.
reader,
No,
talking to
and
the
you're so
audience.
right. I mean, all of us, I'm much, much older than you. I'm 68 years old. But I know over the last 4.5 decades of working, there are lots of noises in our mind all the time. But I want to ask you, what are some of the noises that a lot of the young people are struggling with today?
I think first is the digital overload. There is too much information out there.
Yeah.
And even if you are not interested in certain things, you tend to, kind of waste your time on certain things. Suppose there's a student, medical student, has
Mm,
zero interest in cooking.
mm,
And when a fancy looking decorative, cooking reel flashes up on your mobile, you'll not scroll up. You'll see that how, okay, this looks tempting, and let me just see the process. And
mm,
there, your 2 minutes are wasted. So,
mm,
digital overload, I think, is the biggest noise as of now, considering the current scenario.
mm,
Then it's the self doubt and limited belief.
mm,
I feel people, they just create a bubble around themselves, thinking that this is my limit and it's impossible to go beyond. I mean, I come from this background and I cannot, go beyond a certain limit. May it be financially, may it be looks wise, your career, your education, everything.
mm,
So I think limited belief. And then obviously, when you have limited belief, you start to have this self doubt about your,
mm,
personality, about your being, about everything that you do.
mm.
So I think these three, yeah.
Well said. And Anamika, your book focuses on three pillars: mastering mindset, healing emotional wounds, and building resilience. Tell me why you chose these three pillars and give me an example, if you can, in each of them.
Okay, so they're interconnected.
Mm,
It all starts with your mindset. If you're trying to do anything in life,
mm,
I'm not talking about, becoming a billionaire. If that's a goal for you, it's amazing. Good
mm,
luck, and it is possible. But I'm just talking about anything that you want to do in life. May it be learning, a craft, or maybe a skill, or you want to do something of your own, or you want to earn certain money, or you want to buy a house, or whatever, you want to look certain way. Everything starts with mindset. And when you master your mindset, that's how you begin to manifest things in life.
mm,
And emotional wounds are something that you need to address, and you need to heal when you're trying to master your mindset. Because it all starts with cleaning your house.
mm.
When you're inviting a guest and when you're preparing good meals, first step is to clean the house, first
Yeah.
step is to just organize everything. So
Mm,
emotional wounds are like cleaning your house, cleansing your energy system, cleansing your subconscious, your being there, because that's what your personality is all about. And
mm,
then building resilience, obviously. See, everyone faces low times in their life. I too have faced when um, I lost both of my parents within a span of 1 year.
oh, I'm sorry.
And
Mm,
yeah, and that was something, trust me when I say this, now I can speak because I have come out of that phase. But when I lost my dad, I had my mom to look,
mm,
to look for. And I was like, I have to be strong because my mom is there and I have to be with her and stuff. But when I lost my mom, I was like, now what? I mean,
mm,
I don't know. So resilience is very important, and there was a point when I felt that I'd leave everything. I'd leave writing, I'd leave traveling, and because she was my parents were my biggest
Mm,
supporters,
mm.
my strength, my
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And bouncing back from that, the lowest of my life, I think that's important for every single person, because failures make you give up on your dreams, on your aspirations, on
Mm,
your goals. So I think all of these things are interconnected. So you need
mm,
to build resilience, you need to heal your emotional wounds, and then you need to, master your mindset, because it's all in the brain. And if it's in your brain, and if it's, if it's getting, repeated, it will help you manifest.
mm. What a
So
great
yeah.
response. What a great response. Thank you. Namaka, you also write about stepping out of the comfort zone. Why do you think most of us find it difficult to step out of our comfort zones?
I think it's the feeling of being safe,
Mhm.
because secretly it's, at times it becomes suffocating, but then people think it's safe. When you think of stepping out of your comfort zone, when you think about making a certain change in your life, sometimes it feels risky. And because obviously the unknown has no guarantee. You can, as I said, you can only assume and plan and prepare, but that's something I feel people are scared of. They feel abhi jaisa chal raha hai waisa chalne dete hain, it's all good, it's all fine, okay, whatever. So that safety aspect, I feel, is the biggest reason why
Mm.
people don't step out of comfort zone. But growth never happens when it's predictable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You really want to take that. There's a very interesting quote which says that if you really want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to do something extraordinary. You can't expect something extraordinary when you're doing the ordinary. So yeah.
Mm. Very well said. And what advice would you give to someone who recognizes their comfort zone is holding them back, but feels paralyzed to act?
Yeah.
And I'm sure all of us, I mean, I both have been through that many times.
Yeah. So I think, I feel, to step out of your comfort zone, you need to start with a very small, take baby steps.
Mm.
Don't make plans that scare you. And
Mm.
and I'll tell you one a very scientific, interesting fact, that the fear and the excitement, it feels same in your body. So
Mm.
name it as excitement and
Mm.
just start small.
Mm.
With once you start taking small steps, your zone will expand eventually, because you're repeating and you're just taking, you're not thinking about the mountain that you want to climb. You just see that, okay, this is one step that I want to take. And this comes from, my dad used to say this actually. We used to go on road trips. He loved traveling. He was a Sagittarius also, so and he used to say that, okay, अभी हमें 700 kilometers का road trip करना है.
Mm.
Don't think about 700 kilometers at once, because then you'll start to feel अभी बहुत लंबा trip है, अभी बहुत. Think about 100 kilometers and then think about another 100, and then think. So you
Mm.
need to have these pit stops in your mind.
Mm.
You have your goals set in your mind, that's good,
Mm.
but start with small steps, start with baby steps, and that's how it actually helps out.
Very nice, very nice. Another term for this, which you can talk about, is bite-sized milestones. So,
Yeah.
since you talk of milestones, but Anamika, your book also includes affirmations for growth. Why are affirmations such a powerful tool in your approach?
See, the mind believes what it hears repeatedly. It's a scientifically proven fact. You keep on repeating things, you keep on telling your mind certain things, and it will start to believe, and it start to find cues to make it possible, and it actually brings it in your life.
Mm.
That's how it works. Affirmations are these positive sentences that helps you actually, manifest things and bring things in your life, and rewire your brain, and master your mindset. Because you repeat things, but then there is a certain way to work with affirmations. If your actions are not aligned with what you're affirming, I think it will help, but to only 5-10%, which is not evident, and you will feel that, okay, Abhi, this is not working for me.
Mm,
So, but yes, I feel affirmations are the most powerful and most the easiest way to manifest whatever you want to manifest in
mm,
life.
Well said. My next question is, how does your book tie into your larger mission with responsible Yatri and holistic coaching?
See, they all come from the same intention to inspire mindful living.
Mm,
When I talk about responsible Yatri, it's all about, making people aware that they need to travel responsibly, and they need to be, they need to travel in certain way and be conscious about their actions, and, be climate conscious, and be environment conscious, environment friendly. So I feel it is the mindful way of living, it is the mindful way of, and same is for holistic coaching. Whether it's through travel, through mindset work or sustainability, I want people to live with more clarity, with a purpose and with a balance, because that's the perfect lifestyle that
mm,
will help you to grow. Every single aspect in your life, every single action you do in your life, that
mm,
actually affects what you want to do in life, in your future, or your whatever your goal is.
mm,
So I think everything comes from that same intention. It's the mindful living.
mm. Amazing. In a world full of distractions, what does clarity mean to you today?
um See, clarity means truly knowing what matters to you.
Mm,
It is not that I want to earn $100 million. No, it's what actually matters to you. Like,
mm,
what if you earn a certain amount of money? What after that?
mm,
You want to buy a car.
mm,
Okay, fine, it's a very clear, you want to buy a Porsche, it's a very clear goal. But what after that? So
mm,
clarity, I feel, is knowing what truly matters to you, what at your core space, and having the courage to let go of the rest. Because then you're not stuck on certain things, then you're not bound on certain things. So I
mm,
think it's not about having all the answers, but having fewer doubts
mm,
about your direction, about your possibility, or your aspirations in life.
mm. Well said. I have time for three more questions for you. Uh, have readers shared stories with you about how the book has helped them? And if so, can you share one or two of them?
Yes, I do get a lot of emails and DMs where people share their experiences, and these messages and these emails mean the world to me, because that's how I know, okay, the purpose, the intention of this book is getting fulfilled.
Mm,
I remember one of the readers shared this email with me where she mentioned that she started doing EFT. EFT is emotional freedom technique. It's
mm,
commonly known as tapping.
mm,
So after reading the book, she started practicing EFT, and she manifested her dream job.
mhm,
So, and she was trying for a specific company since long, and she got that the job in that specific company. So I think this was something that I felt, okay, this is something amazing that people are able to manifest, implement things from the book, and are able to manifest. And another story that really touched my heart was, there was this girl who had a similar story like me. She also lost her father, and she was able to come out of that grief after reading the book. And she
mm.
told me she read the book 3 times. Like,
Wow.
she finished the book and she read it again, and then she finished and read it again.
Amazing.
And then she felt so, see, I'm telling you, I'm getting goosebumps while I'm
Mhm,
telling this.
mhm, mhm,
And then she, the third time when she felt, she cried so much. She explained this to me that I cried, I howled. And then I felt so much lighter, and then I just thought that I will share this experience with you. So I think
amazing. Fascinating,
Yeah,
fascinating.
it's very fulfilling, and it means the world to me.
Yeah, and clearly your readers are able to relate with your story, and
Yeah.
I think your empathy with them is helping them a lot. As
That's
time
the
for two,
authenticity factor.
absolutely right, absolutely. How would you suggest a reader should use this book every day? Is there a particular way that you believe a reader should engage with your book?
Yes, actually, I wrote this book with an intention of making it as a companion and not a one-time read. That you
Hmm.
read a novel and you forget the book and you keep it. It's just sitting in your bookshelf, and that was not the intention. So I really appreciate that you mentioned this question. I want people to read this book
Hmm.
first time at your space, at your pace.
Hmm.
If you're a fast reader, you finish it in one reading. If you're a slow reader, you take your time and read the book.
Hmm.
But once you become familiar with the book, just keep
Hmm.
it handy with you. And whenever you feel low, or whenever you feel stuck, or you feel that, okay, I don't know what to do, or maybe you're just feeling overwhelmed, just flip few pages. And even if you start, like, you randomly open a page and it will make sense to whatever you're feeling right now. I mean,
Hmm.
that's something I always suggest. Like, keep it handy, keep it like a companion, keep it like
Hmm.
your friend. Okay,
Hmm.
you want to talk to a friend, you flip few pages, you read it, and
Yeah.
you're back on your pace. So yeah,
Hmm.
I suggest people just keep it handy.
Very
First
well.
time read it on your own pace, and then just keep it handy.
Fascinating. And my last question for you, Anamika. We started with talking about travel. Let me come back to travel. Tell me a little bit about your travel. Which are some of your favorite areas, and what are some of your learnings when you travel?
um Areas as in places.
Yeah, some countries or places or cities, whichever one you like to.
Okay, so in India, I love Gulmarg. I
Mm.
am a very nature-loving person. I am a
Mm.
nature enthusiast. And first time I visited Gulmarg, it was I think 2 years back in summers, and
Mhm.
that place is amazingly beautiful. Like,
Yes.
it feels like straight out of heaven. I mean, it's so beautiful. So in India, I love Gulmarg. And if we talk about out of India, I think I love Dubai, because that place is amazing. It's a modern marvel. I mean,
Mm.
you step out on the streets of Dubai and you'll be like, wow, this place, wow, that place.
Yeah.
So I think, and the rules there and how they manage everything.
Correct.
I mean, I love Dubai. So
Fascinating.
yeah.
Fascinating. And on that note, Anamika, sorry, you going to say something else?
No, no, I think there was this another part of your question where you shared your learnings.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell
Yeah.
me.
So, learnings, I feel, is just that, you see yourself, you connect with yourself more when you're traveling,
Mm.
because then, and it makes you feel so much grounded, because when you step out and when you see so many people coming from different background, different cultures, different places,
Mm.
you feel the world is huge and you're so small, and it just kills your ego. It just kills your, that attitude that, okay, I am, you know so I think traveling helps you stay grounded. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on that note, Anamika, I just want to say thank you so much for speaking to me. This has been such a fascinating conversation. Thank you for talking to me about your book, Shoo the Noises. We all, at different stages in our lives, have noises in our minds, and your experiences that you have shared in your book are, I'm sure, helpful to many, many different readers. Thank you again, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.